Hello and welcome back to episode 188 of the New Meta podcast. It's a rarity, it's a summer podcast. Soon to be back in some rainier months and perhaps some more frequent scheduling, but alas. Joining me, as always, Marco and Adam. Marco, welcome to the pod. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Good to be back.
Nice. How's summer been treating you so far?
I mean, yeah, it's been a great summer. This pod, a week delayed, and last week I had my notes ready because I'd only just come back from holiday, so I wrote down some notes I wanted to share on the fluff section of the last week pod. But now it's a week delayed, it feels less relevant to talk about my holiday antics, but I might have to run through a couple points nonetheless.
Okay. Do you want to... Shall we say hi to Adam first? How are you doing, Adam?
Go on then, Adam.
Welcome to the pod as well.
I'm good. Let's get on with Marco. Smiley face. Can't
wait. No.
I can't wait.
It's relevant because one of them is very American-centric. One of the points is, I had this kind of luggage flight nightmare situation of... I don't know, have I mentioned that to you, that me and Abby lost luggage?
No, I didn't even know that.
Oh, okay, so that's a big takeaway from the holiday. We left Manchester with 3 bags, arrived in Naples, Italy with 1 bag, and then came home with 2 bags. So it was a bit tumultuous.
That's such a nightmare.
And
oh my god!
It's just today. Actually, my suitcase, the third and final bag, came home to Papa today.
Wow, that's nuts.
After being abandoned for a few weeks. So
they just put it in the wrong plane.
We know what happened. It was because we missed the connection because of a flight delay that then put us on a flight 6-7 hours later to Zurich, which then was a detour before getting to Naples. So we went to Brussels, Zurich, Naples. Painful. And what happened was at Zurich, we just made it onto the next flight, but our bags didn't. And when we turned up at Naples, there was other people from the same Manchester journey that had just made the flight as well and was doing the same stupid delay connections like we were doing, and they didn't have the luggage. And funnily enough, on the holiday, we were in Sorrento, we actually saw this couple a couple times just in the town, and went over to them one time and was like, oh, have you got anything? We were from the same plane. And they were like, nah, just slumming the holiday with no clothes. So yeah, a bit rough. But going to more light-hearted themes, one of the big themes of the holiday was the Americans. So if anyone's following markets and exchange rates, clearly Americans are keen for Europe because you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. So wow, there was a lot of Americans, and they are noticeable people with the voices that pierce the atmosphere and the personalities that dominate a surrounding. Nonetheless, nonetheless, there was a lot of them, and so that was a definite...
They love Italy. Italy's like the number one Europe destination, I feel like, if you're American. That's what I've heard, anyway.
I mean, it honestly feels like it. And so, that was kind of interesting. I mean, I came across a couple of interesting characters, but oh my god, there was this one character at the airport. I honestly cannot believe how much of a douchebag this American guy was. Just unbelievable.
Story checks out. I already believe the story.
Maybe he wasn't American.
Maybe he was Canadian.
Well, when he said the words, and I actually wrote this down in my notes last week, quote unquote, America is the country that feeds you, as he spoke to an Italian air hostess check-in person at the desk.
Isn't that like the literal dumbest thing you could say to an Italian who
is
in Italy like pizza and pasta?
Yeah. I was saying, he was literally like just flaming this guy at the check-in. So when you put your luggage into hold, just pure flaming, and then he'd be like turning around to the big queue of people, being like huffing and puffing and just like so toxic. It was insane. And then the guy kind of finally gets his luggage on, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna go get a rest? Oh yeah, you need a rest? Like all that hard work? Yeah, like just being Oh, so disgusting. And then, this comment about, I can't remember exactly because it's too long ago, but I have written down, and I do remember it. We're the country that feeds you. Like, show us some respect or something, or like you. He was literally just talking kind of to no one. Like, there's some just person at a desk trying to check in his luggage, and for some reason he's going insane, and everyone is just gasping at what is happening. Oh my god! So anyway, that was an American experience that stood out.
To be fair,
I disavow his behavior.
Adam's people are being attacked here.
Yeah, honestly, they are.
Not right.
However, if you want me to end it on a positive note and end my fluff section, another bit of American-related fluff, a book I read, Stan will be pleased to hear, was Grapes of Wrath.
All right.
And unbelievable how good it is. And
hefty book, that.
Kind of, yeah. I'm almost upset that, because Stan, you've said it's one of your favourite books. Is that not true?
That's not accurate, no.
Really?
I've read it. I really like John Steinbeck, but I prefer Cannery Row, which is another one of his books. But I do like Grapes of Wrath. It took me 3 attempts to read it though, because it's quite slow.
Okay. So I kind of remember. I feel like I remember you mentioning it, but when I've ever, I know it's this classic and all that, but no one had ever, it's told me to read it. You must read this or anything. I didn't know what to expect. Took it on holiday with me because I had it, and I was blown away and thought it was one of the best books ever.
It's the Jodes, those poor Jodes from Oklahoma.
The Jodies.
Yeah. So that's some American shout out.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, that makes up for that guy's behavior then.
Yeah,
instead of saying, we're the country that feeds you, we're the country that reads you.
Yeah,
Whoa,
boy.
Hello.
Yeah, boy.
I just for a bit of continuity, I actually went to the airport when I went to Spain back in April or May, I can't remember, and I also had like the biggest douchebag, like mind-blowing levels, like similar to this story where it just doesn't, you don't understand how someone like that can function. But it was just like an English guy with his family, but it was like he must have just been stressed like out of his eyeballs, because it was so long ago I can't remember what he was doing, but it was a similar thing of he like just walking casually towards the gate, he'd be like, can you guys walk, can you walk any faster, we're never gonna make it to Spain, going crazy. And then he'd like the air hostess would be like, can I see your passport? And he'd be like, what, you don't believe us, you don't believe I've got a passport, like what? He's and then he'd like point to his kid who's like 3 and be like, he's 3 years old, what do you think he's going to do? And it's like, oh my god, they need to see your passport, like my days. So yeah, airports are special places.
Yeah, they're disconcerting because you see a lot of people, and so when
everyone is upset, in a bad mood when they're
and you see your worst of everyone. When the sample size is that big, you're going to come across some absolute nutcases.
Yeah, it's definitely
tough time.
Should we talk about some Defense of the Ancients too? I feel like quite a lot has happened in the week since our last pod. We've had a major patch and a battle pass. I don't know which one we really want to do first.
You would have thought, old us would have done a patch analysis straight away, but we're
we're
just
lazy
bad
now.
people now.
I know. Apologies to the listeners. We would have done like an emergency pod back in the day when we were Kino, but I don't know. It remains to be seen what might happen in the winter months. For me personally, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, like the summer has been like really busy. People are on holiday seemingly like every week. I'm on holiday again next week. Sorry about that. But in October, I personally will have like nothing onwards.
TI.
Yeah, there's TI, of course. So we'll see. We've
got to build up for TI.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's some solid broadcasting in.
Yeah.
Should we have a quick word on like games, and that will like help us talk about patch, because we can talk about like things we've seen in games that are about the patch, and then we can also talk about general patch stuff, and then maybe we can have a word on this battle pass, or at least the like 1/4 of the battle pass that's currently released or whatever. Adam, have you been up to much in the Dotaverse post patch?
I have played games.
Whoa,
it has occurred.
Nice.
I don't know if you've logged in since yesterday, or maybe it was when the patch came out. But they did the battle report or whatever, the second battle report.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that.
Where they recap your last 3 months of games. Maybe it's Dota Plus only.
It's a Plus thing, yeah, I think.
Yeah, well, it was really sad. I had played 32 games in 3 months.
Wow.
Just brutal.
You've got a new sort of artist picture as well.
I do. That's AI generated.
Oh, I see.
So when the prompt was me when Saul, and that's what that's what the AI generated.
Nice.
So, yep. What was the question? I played games.
How have your games been?
I like games. Yeah, it's nothing serious. It's just party games.
Yeah. Have you tried anything fun? Any new fun things in post patch, or has it just been checking out your heroes and seeing what's good?
Just Crystal Maiden and Veno. That's the only things I care about. That and Lich, I suppose.
CM's meant to be good, right? Isn't CM meant to be
CM
busted? Pretty busted. Well, not busted, but very.
She feels nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a range talent at 15 now. The Frostbite range seems pretty good. You can buff either side of your two spells. Do I want to go Frostbite game or do I want to go Crystal Nova game? So that's pretty cool.
There's also this laning thing about allies getting double the mana regen. I feel like that's got to be good, in certain lanes.
Oh yeah,
just makes that's pretty strong.
That's true because they have to be in an aura range, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. And then Veno, I'm less convinced about because they got rid of. Well, they changed the shard, right? They added latent toxicity, and then they made the Gale spawns 2 Plague Wards. They made that a talent at 20, but it takes so much longer to get to 20. And they put the Plague Ward cooldown at the same time at 15 as minus 8% Poison Sting slow, which is such a feels bad. You have to go Poison Sting slow. I feel like there's no other world where you wouldn't get that. I mean, it's 22% slow versus 14.
Yeah.
So you're just competing against yourself.
Yeah. Have you tried the shard? Have you tried the latent toxicity?
I have not noticed it at all. So there have been a couple times I think where other people have played it and it's oh, I stunned the guy. He tried to. Isn't it stun if you try to purge?
Spell, yeah.
Yeah. And
how does that work if you Yules? If you Yules yourself, you're just Yulesed, I presume.
I don't know.
That's one
I would assume. It's just I don't know. Another thing for people to purge off.
Yeah, that's
20
fair.
DPS seems completely just negligible.
How about...
I think he did have a pretty big win rate fall, but I still think he's a lot of fun. So,
fair dues. I quite like Veno as well from time to time. How have your games been, Marco? What's been happening?
So I've been casually playing POS 5 ranked. Even though I've not played a lot of games, I have become a kind of POS 5 recluse, kind of 3k core player, and then high immortal POS 5 Chikiro player. I think I could hit TI in a year if I just played Chikiro kind of thing. And honestly, it's been going decent. It's surprisingly well, given how little I've played. I've managed to climb this last couple months, and before I had a net 2 loss over the last week, I got to a point where I was 2, if not 1, games away from a peak MMR, which is kind of phenomenal given the place me and you were at in the Liverpool New Metal Hub.
It was literally just like a Dota sweat house.
Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, I should have just backed my POS 5 back then, and back then my POS 5, the likes of Wyvern were winning me points. And now, but then I kind of mixed it up, tried to play carry, tried to play mid. I mean, tried to be a bit too versatile. Nowadays, yeah, just pick Jakiro or CM. So I was telling Adam my Jakiro stats. They're actually disgusting. It's like 70% win rate in ranked only, 20 games or something, which doesn't sound lots, but is actually pretty mad. So, climbing ranked, which is...
If he played only Jakiro, he'd be 10k.
Yeah,
but he
with
just
enough
won't do
games.
it.
I mean, I'm playing only Jakiro and in ranked. When you're winning games, it's fun. Frustratingly, there were two losses I had early in the week, and I've got to just say some stats because it blows my mind. There was a mid player on the enemy team twice, and it's so frustrating. So I had a game, lost, and then a win, and then I came against this same mid player, something like this. But both 36, 38 minutes, so not that long. The enemy mid, first time, has a score of 35 kills, 4 deaths, 27 assists in a 38-minute game. This is ranked immortal. This is like everyone's got a number, ranked immortal. And then the next time I came against him, the same day, he gets a enemy mid Ember, 36 minutes, 33 kills, 4 deaths, 13 assists. And I'm like, come on, how is that possible that in this high competitive game, the enemy mid that I come against twice goes absolutely bonkers levels of destruction? Like, how was that meant to be possible when everyone's meant to be decent? Anyway, that was, I thought, mind-blowing that he was able to achieve that. We didn't win those games. Yeah, so then other general comments. Game time, a bit longer than the past. Slowest game, 33 minutes. That was kind of stomp. I feel like when I look at the POS 1 pool, because that's what I think about more, very diverse. I feel like the pool of heroes generally is kind of better than it's ever been. Really, I feel like, the pool of legit heroes feels so broad. It doesn't feel like I ever see the same cores or support. I don't know, it feels like the best time to be playing Dota from a meta perspective.
Give it time. TI's coming up, and then like post TI when all the teams have figured out everything, and it'll just be like, oh wow, this patch, holy smokes. Interesting. I'll run through my games quickly. First thing to mention, I think since the last pods, I don't think we podded since I broke my win streak record with 15 wins in a row. So I don't think that happened yet. So I won 15 games in a row, all unranked. I have played a little bit of ranked. I think since the last pod, maybe just... I can't remember whether... There's some games in here that I might have played pre-last patch. It's been so long. But yeah, I played 15 games in a row and I won them all.
That's phenomenal.
Enigma, Dazzle, Lion, Spectre, Underlord, Enigma, Sniper, Storm, TA, Pugner, Puck, TA, Magnus, OD. Then I lost a game on Enigma that I soloed. This is what I'm talking about. So the first loss, it's that situation where you feel like you can't lose a game. Like you've forgotten how to lose Dota. And I had another one of these experiences where it's one of those where every time you're behind, you just come back. Like it's inevitable because you're just winning. This game, I'm Enigma, POS 3. It was quite a fun game, actually. They had a brew that was very effective, like causing a lot of havoc. We had a PA that had a bad start, but then came back. But basically, I solo lost the game in the sense that if I'd made one black hole play, we would have won. And it comes down to... how massive Nature's Prophet's level 20 talent is, where Sprout leashes. It's in certain games, yeah, like this game against PA, it's the most insane thing ever. So this guy, like you sprout a PA, and there's genuinely nothing they can do. They BKB, doesn't matter, you're still sprouted. You can't use Blink Strike. You're just sat there and you just die. So basically, we had a big fight at the end where my Nature's Prophet, we're Radiant and it's around our triangle area, and I'm sitting just behind the ward spot, and our PA's like around the ancient area, and they go on PA with Nature's Prophet and they sprout, and this Prophet starts wailing, MKB, Orchid, BKB, starts wailing on our PA, and I have Blink Refresher BKB, so I've got do I have Refresher at this time actually? Not sure if I've got Refresher. I might just have one Black Hole at this point, but it doesn't matter. And what I should do in that moment is, if I Blink and Midnight Pulse, or if I just Blink Black Hole, the Nature's Prophet, we would have just won, because our PA can 1v4 quite comfortably, I think. But I don't, because for the whole game, this Nature's Prophet's been just food for PA. And then suddenly this 20 talent comes in, it's like PA can't play Dota anymore. So I wasn't mentally prepared for that moment where actually solo black holing a Nature's Prophet or using Midnight Pulse just to get rid of trees is the game winning play.
Yeah.
So then I hesitate. It takes me 2 seconds, or basically immediately after the fact, when PA, our carry, dies, I'm like, wow, I should have black holed. Forget their other heroes that are strong. Just black hole the Prophet, and that's all you need to do. And I think it can be a common pitfall for these big ultimate heroes. Your Magnuses of the world, your Tide Hunters of the world, Enigma, the prime example, with the biggest ultimate in the game. Especially when you're ahead. All points of the game, but it's more obvious when you're ahead. Just think about what you actually need to do to win the game. Don't just default onto the mindset of, no matter what the game state is, I need to get a big black hole in a team fight, because actually it's just not the case. You need to be thinking about what you need to do regardless of spells, and then work backwards from there. We need to kill Prophet so that PA doesn't die. We need PA to kill them. How does that not happen? Prophet kills her with this leash talent. Okay, if we stop that from happening, then what? Then we win the game. Okay, well then if I use my ultimate on a solo Prophet, we win the game. Do you know what I mean? That working backwards. As opposed to being I have Black Hole off cooldown, I need to use on 3 heroes sort of thing.
It makes me think of every game where there's an enemy dazzle and everyone is just I'm using every spell on the first hero I see.
Yeah.
And dazzle just wins games from the back.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one. That was my first loss. Bounced straight back with 3 more wins, so it's been a bit more reasonable since then.
18-1.
Yeah, 18-1. Yeah, it's been a bit more reasonable. Or maybe 2 wins after that. Okay, 17-1. Played 2 ranked. I played an OD that was absolutely, in theory, the dream OD game, but in reality, a horrendous OD game. I think, where I had a terrible kill score and it was really bad. But then I bounced back with a puck. So some unusual heroes. I haven't been on the usual Necro, Lena vibes. Having a lot of fun with Mars. I played 2 Mars games. I played a Mars game last night that was really, really fun. 1 hour loss, but it was a really fun game. We had an Ember Spirit that went absolutely nuts. Quick word on Mars, and it's relevant because he's been nerfed quite a lot in the patch. He's been battered a fair bit. I don't know if he's been touched up again in 7.32b, but I know in 7.32 the mana cost, basically slight reduction in mana cost for Spear of Mars, but the God's Rebuke slow is down. Oh no, it's up. It's the arena that's down, and his bulwark Ags is not as good anymore because it doesn't go when you get attacked. And also his the damage when you hit the edge of the arena is down, so it's a bit harder to solo kill people. You're probably losing 50 to 100 damage. But I had a lot of fun playing Mars, and I played him mid. And I will say it's an interesting one. When you get Deso AC, and especially if you get to this 25 talent where you've got this God Tribute crit, holy smokes, you're bashing. You're like hitting hard. And it's an interesting power spike curve on Mars that I wasn't ready for in the game. And it was, if I'd known Mars a little better, I think we would have won, because the way the hero works is you're really strong killer monster for the first bit of the game. Then when enemies first get BKBs, I feel like you fall off a lot. And then later, when you get a bit more items and you get like an AC, or say like a Satanic or something, and you got Shard, and enemy BKBs go down, and you get this lower cooldown on God's Tribute, you get this God's Tribute crit, you turn into like an absolute monster again, like late game. I mean, sure, you're not gonna like stand up to the enemy carry necessarily, but like it's a case of you're able to just like skirmish. You're not just like a one-trick pony, like jumping in. So it's an interesting one to like adjust to that power spike as it goes up, then down, then up again, like through the course of the game. Because I think I had an amazing start. I was like 8-0, and then I was too bullish when they started getting BKBs, and I started to struggle. And then I was too timid when I got like Deso AC and crit, and I could have flown in more and probably got a lot of work done, because you're like almost one-shotting heroes.
Yeah, this is the understanding your hero and its power spikes kind of vibe. And yeah, that's why you have to play the same hero quite a bit to get the feel. Even if you're good, just take that experience to get the feel, the intuition. Something that is cool on Mars is, that Satanic, like 0 to 100, get like 3k HP back or something. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about some of the runners and riders of this patch. First of all, is there anything that you guys have seen in terms of like heroes you want to mention, like big changes, things that stood out to you in this patch?
There's a couple. I can name check a couple. I wouldn't say the big changes. I did, when I read the patch, didn't feel like anything stood out to me. Sugar Mega Loads, Marcy's been changed, swapped its stun around, whatever. The two that stood out to me, one was the Ricky. I've seen a couple streamers play it. Maybe I've just seen Mason, who is a Ricky spammer, play it. But Cloak and Dagger, agility damage multiplier now doubled against creeps. It's pretty decent. That is pretty decent acceleration to it. Ricky's farming ability. Don't mind that. Don't mind trying out a bit more Ricky.
So his win rate's excellent. It's like 54%.
Is it? Okay. That is... Yeah. He's had a few minor buffs. I think that one is very nice for farming. And then the other one was Tusk. So I played a ranked, and there was a pos for Tusk. And I only checked their items after the match, and they had Orb of Corrosion and a Blightstone. Which makes sense, because I was a Chikiro who's not a squishy support, but I'd get rolled on and ulted and take 500 damage when the Tusk is level 6 or something, and Chikiro's not got 0 armor, but obviously this guy had Blightstone and Orb of Corrosion, and I was like, what the hell, this is disgusting amount of damage. Fair play. Looking at Tusk's changes, the stun on level 1 Snowball going up 0.5 to 0.8 is pretty value for a value point of Snowball. And then a bit of base health, base mana regen buffs, whatever. Like, so super minor, as a lot of these changes are. But I was quite impressed by this Tusk.
Yeah.
Well, I remember something. It's been so long. It should have been in my game section, but it does have to do with the patch. It was the first time I've ever broke the game, crashed the server, game not able to be found afterwards. because of a bug. I'm sure it's been patched now, but it was. I just looked on my Dota buff and it just says no hero, no stats recorded. It was my first game of the patch was Spirit Breaker. Wanted to try out the new Planar Pocket, the new Ag Shard.
Right.
So it increases your magic resist by 25% and redirects the first enemy spell targeted at an allied hero within a 900 radius towards him. So we play 42 minutes. We're in the lead. I'm just doing Spirit Breaker things. Enemy team has a Pudge. I Planar Pocket. He dismembers me. The game explodes. Immediately drops. No one can get back in. And yeah, the game's just over. It didn't happen.
That's pretty funny. So what's the game? Why does it break the game?
And then so one of the person in our party recreated it in the demo mode repeatedly. I don't know. You redirect the first enemy spell targeted at an allied hero. So I guess it's redirecting Dismember onto a Pudge himself, but I would think that would just, stun him quickly and it'd be over with. But no, it broke the game. All that with being said is Planar Pocket felt kind of meh, kind of really meh.
Yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting one, because on the one hand you could think, redirects a spell, it's like Lotus Orb, but then... Yeah,
it's kind of interesting that it gives you 25 magic resist, because you would think you would also, press W during this, so you would, the bulldoze or whatever, so you'd have, Giga, stat resist, and magic resist, but if someone targets you with a spell, or targets an ally with a spell and it gets redirected, you lose the magic resist. Why do you get punished? Why do you remove your magic resist? It's I don't know, 1400 for a pseudo Lotus Orb that's not controllable at that point.
Yeah, good insurance though. If you're losing the game, just run into the enemy Pudge and press it and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I'm sure it's patched now, but I was oh wow, I've discovered a bug. That was first time that happened. And wasn't then the other. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, wasn't there a time for a little while where doing Monkey King Primal Spring would break the game?
I think so.
I feel I remember there was a way where you used to be able to break the game. Well, it didn't last long, but there used to be a way.
Was
where
it Rubik doing it?
No, I don't think so. It was a really easy way to to just break the game, something that required only you doing it. And so there was a day of ranked where people used to pick Monkey King, and then if you win the game, you're great, and if you don't, near the end, you just do this weird Primal Spring glitch and it breaks the server. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's pretty good MMR winner right
there. So you asked about the patch, what I've noticed, and it's not what I've noticed. Or it's not what's been added, it's what's been taken away.
The neutrals.
No Essence Ring, no Ocean Heart, no Keen Optic, no Chipped Vest. No Spider Legs. No
Spider Legs is fucking dumb, so that's fine.
Leveler, I'm happy, that's fine to go because just torches your towers. Spider Legs, Spider Legs Giga OP with the pathing and all that stuff. Essence Ring, okay, big survivability. Keen Optic, Tier 1, Tier S, support. Chip Vest, perfect carry, jungling item. I get it, but it's kind of sad they're gone. I am pretty happy that Havoc Hammer is back. I thought that was a pretty good item.
Which one?
Havoc Hammer.
Havoc Hammer.
I think that's the only one that they've brought back. All the other ones are new.
Oh yeah.
When I first read these, I thought they sounded bonkers broken, but I haven't actually noticed them that much. I do know that the Lance of Pursuit is actually real nice on some mana-hungry heroes, like Mars. And because it's tier 1, it's not like, oh, if I'm a core that wants damage, I'm really missing out on a damage item when I choose this. It's tier 1, so you're really only missing out on like some stats. Yeah. So it's fine to just pop it on.
The cult bracelet's already been nerfed, so it was +5 all stats, now it's +3 all stats. So that's probably. I mean, it's probably just because it was the best stat item, right? So that's
energy booster for reference is 800 gold plus 250 mana, and Lance of Pursuit is plus 200 mana.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is serious flat value. Never mind the passive. Do you want to hear my salty 2 cents on the neutral items?
Yep.
I was tilted that there are now tier 1 neutral items where I have to read 3 lines of text to learn what they do. And I'm just not here for that. Neutral item. Alright, come on. Just some flat attribute regen.
I think the seeds are good.
I mean, yeah,
seeds are interesting.
Bloody hell. Target the ground with 350 radius, HP regen, while they're in the effect, last 4.
Plant a tree.
Oh, God.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't get that much HP from it, do you? 8 HP regen, 14 seconds, 100 something HP. Yeah, like
it's still
mini tango to everyone.
And then like it pushes a wave, right?
Yeah.
You throw it on a wave, you're like, why are the creeps losing so bad? It's because there's this
the creep
tree, and it goes same with the flag bearer creep.
Oh, that one's a weird one. So the flag bearer creep, is it just magic resistance more, and that's it? I need to reread that.
It feels tankier to me, even to physical. It just feels tankier.
40% magic resistance.
It gives health, three health regen.
Yeah, and 3 health regen to allies. So yeah, it's tankier via magic, but not via physical damage.
Well, I think that if you kill flag bearer, if your wave has a flag bearer and the other wave doesn't, your wave like wins handedly because the 3 health regen's huge.
Yeah.
Just for the creeps hitting one another. Like, without you getting involved.
Yeah, the flag bearer
I was
a weird one.
sad because I thought I had a dot on a wave, I think, and it just didn't die because there was a flag bearer. It's like, oh, man.
It's funny, I did think, there'd be more focus on this creep in the laning phase, but I think we're simply not good enough and the game's too difficult for us to pay attention to the flag bearer creep. And I think it'll only be
double gold.
I mean, yeah, it's an absolute objective that should be focused, but in every game I've played, it doesn't feel like there's a new creep. I mean, it feels like the laning is no different. Maybe the carry is acting differently, but they don't appear to be, or I think I'll only see new attention at the pro level with regard to like securing this creep.
Yeah. There's too many objectives now. It's like, oh, we got to fight over the range creep. Now I got to fight over the flag bearer and the range creep. We got to fight over
runes. Go to runes. Everything.
Yeah, go to the bounty.
Because there's like is it every other wave or something like that?
It's so often. Yeah. It's almost too often to be relevant.
I'd rather it be buffed and happen less often because I'm kind of annoyed by its presence, to be honest.
Yeah,
you're right. Every minute there's a new one. It's like just blends in.
Maybe that's what they, as a penance for taking away the mid-small camp and not replacing with anything. They're just like, hey, here's a bunch of trees. Let's like ruin all the farming patterns. That's not that they're ruined, but it's like it feels so awkward now, even as a support to like walk and like, I'll kill this camp on the way. It's like, no, there's nothing here.
It's such a weird change. Like, it's really actually quite big. Also, just like what Adam was saying, now when you walk past that area, it feels like you're walking in this like weird no man's land of like just terrain and there's nothing there. But that does change the mid lane a lot. There's a lot of heroes that really loved that small camp.
I like that it makes us like it more active because you can just passive like stack, farm, and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it makes it so it's interesting. It makes it so it's easier to rotate or less punishing to make rotations, because oftentimes if you make a rotation it doesn't get enough done, the enemy, not only have they like farmed a creep mid, like a wave mid, maybe 2 waves, but they've also taken like 2 small camps.
Yeah.
Now it's not quite the same, but it's interesting. You'd think, heroes like TA would suffer, but like actually you can farm ancients and stuff.
Necro, Lena,
Storm,
just these Alk.
Kotal. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I guess you just take other things now.
Yeah, there's definitely certain heroes that it hurts more than others. There are certain heroes that absolutely loved the small camp, like more than other camps.
Kunka,
yeah, like Kotal mids are classics. Farm all of the small camps. But now it's more of, now you kind of can stack more. So I've been seeing a fair bit more of that, more ancient stacking, more camp stacking in general in the jungle, which is a cool change, because it's more interesting to stack a camp that can then be contested, as opposed to just free farming a small camp and coming back to the lane. So I really like that. I think that's I quite like the change, to be honest. I think it makes mid a bit more interesting as well, probably in a pub perspective at least.
I wish there was a way that. So I agree with all that, but then maybe say 15 minutes into the game, the small camp appears.
Interesting.
So that it's available for farming later. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being
maybe making a medium camp at that point or something. But it's just, I think that triangle is nice. The farm, the trees seems like a waste of potential, but I think it's necessary to push the lane in a certain direction that you want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like push the gameplay that you're desiring. I understand taking away, but then
yeah, no, I could definitely see that.
Between the XP nerfs and then some of it just seems that the game is slowing down. Maybe that's what he wanted.
Yeah,
scale the XP, take back some gold.
I think I think they've achieved that, and
I think so too.
I think I like it, to be fair. I think we had said it in the past. It felt like the games had become a bit more Turbo-esque, where it just start, middle, end all happened in 30 minutes, and it felt like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it felt like a blur. But now it feels like there's downtime in the game more, where it's not, where like that next objective isn't secured in the next minute or two, and then the next minute or two. It feels like there's more, downtime.
I've played 12 games so far on the patch. My game times are 36, 47, 42, 48, 33, 58, 50, 46, an hour and 7, 33, 42, and 40. So 3 out of the 12 are less than 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then my game that crashed was also longer than 40. I think Dota is probably best when it's in the 40s.
Yeah, because then you get to enjoy a lot. I feel like, the game is richer, really, by definition.
Yeah.
When you go in a bit later.
It's an interesting one. It's that balance in game design is so difficult, because on the one hand, I totally agree with you guys, and for our games, I totally agree with you guys, but obviously it remains to be seen what I don't want to see, and I'm not saying this will happen, but what I don't want to see is TI games that are going 45 minutes more often, but they're going 45 minutes in like a really choky, inevitable way, like some teams just like growing a lead and then eventually wins. Kind of boring.
I don't want 45-minute games with 20 kills total.
Yeah, that balance is so difficult, because it's like what Marco was saying, it's not necessarily that you want more downtime, it's just, although that can be fine, it's almost like you want lots of opportunities for action. You want lots of options, whether that option be like farming or skirmishing and like it can all work. Almost like every decision you make doesn't have such finality to it because it's so important. It's like, yeah, strategies are all viable, but they all of any individual action is just part of a wider picture, as opposed to you being like, oh, we need to skirmish now at minute 12, and if it goes badly for us, we lose. It's like we can skirmish at 12 minutes and we might get an advantage out of it, but we don't have to. And if it goes really well, we haven't won the game, we've just got more ahead. And if it goes really bad, we haven't lost. We just, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's such a fascinating puzzle.
15%, right? And then like get rid of the small camp. But I think the bigger change is the XP. And I think what the bigger component of snowballing a game is XP. And there were games on the last patch where it felt like there was a hero that was level 25, just way too fast. They get on a bit of a roll, and then you're like, oh, the TA is level 25, and we're all level 18.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that plays a part of why he scaled back the XP, so that it can be pushed in a direction of a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah, I don't have much sample size, but 2 anecdotes I do have is I came across some... Basically, I saw a pro game where it was really low kill score in kind of 20 minutes. And I also came across, I don't know if it was the same series or not, or a different series, mass kill massacre kind of game at 20 minutes. And just off those 2 games, it made me go, oh, this is nice to see that both are possible. And then second point, I do feel like with the hero pools that we're talking about, yeah, TI people are going to try and solve it. However, it does feel like a really rich hero pool. And when that's the case, and therefore you've got more strats and meta games possible, I feel like that, helps make sure that you don't always have that same kind of game, or that same kind of style of game. So I feel very optimistic about kind of pro scene stuff. And
nice.
Yeah.
Just a final word. We're going to talk about this battle pass in a sec, but just a final word on some of this stuff. We were talking about the neutral items earlier. My goodness, Tumblr's toy needs to go. It's too much.
Is that still in the game?
So good.
It's so
how much mana does that give compared to the lance?
It gives 200 as well.
Yeah, so the same.
It's the same.
And it's a movement ability.
The active is just absolutely bonks.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it needs to go.
It's bonks on every hero.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come up with a situation of, oh, it's like so good on a support. It's good on everything. It's not a blink, but it's like a little mini.
Mm-hmm.
All these little outplay, like, repositions, like a Pudge hops on you, all of a sudden you're like, what? I thought it was okay. Yeah. Now I'm absolutely not okay, because it was playing around like this 300 little range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even
in the pro scene, it's so big. It's almost, and this sounds nuts, but I genuinely think I've seen games where this is the case. I've seen games where Mars picked this up, and it's like, oh, I don't need Blink now.
Yeah,
I just go BKB. Like, it's so insane how nuts.
And it just gives him, like, it doubles his mana pool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's almost like I don't need Soul Ring, or I mean, you probably still do need Soul Ring or something, but it's that's like 3 God's Rebukes at least that it gives you. Might be 4.
Yeah, it's like 3.5.
If you can go up and down ramps, or not ramps, but ledges, that is game break. That's just broken. Yeah. So you've just teleported across terrain,
and it doesn't cost mana.
Yeah, that could be a good change if it costs mana. But then it's like, well, it's obviously so good if it should cost 75 mana. I mean, no neutral item should be that valuable.
Blink cooldown, right? It's like if you're damaged, you can't use it.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine?
True? Or is that a suggestion?
No, that's true. You can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you imagine if it didn't have that? It's actually just the best item in the game.
Yeah.
Because you would just hop away and escape all these times when you shouldn't have.
I agree with Marco. These items should be really simple. What I'd really like... I actually really like Ocean Heart. The reason I really liked Ocean Heart is, what does Ocean Heart do? Regen. So
Stats and regen.
I'd like 7 items, say it's going to be 7 or however many it is, 8 or whatever. And maybe there's more. Maybe there's like 10. I'd like one of them to be very simple. One of them can give you some regen. One of them can increase your cast range. One of them could be like the chip vest thing, like a bit of blade mail stuff. One of them can give you stats. One of them gives you some damage. One of them gives you some mana. One of them gives you some health. Do you know what I mean? Just like, so one of them gives you move speed. Just really simple, but like...
Yeah.
Things
I don't like actives.
Yeah. I liked the Keen Optic. I thought it was very balanced. This is also support perspective.
I know, pure bias.
But like, that is like a balanced item. You know what item I miss? Ironwood branch, Ironwood tree, or whatever. What's the?
Yeah, I remember that. The stats one. Yeah.
When it gave you stats and you pointed a tree, maybe it's too good with Timbersaw, but like that one was very straightforward. It gave you a tree, you could plant a tree, and like you had 6 or 7 stats, all sets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's turn our head briefly to.
There's probably one other big change though to the patch, just overarching. Well, just the tower,
Oh, the glyph?
The glyph, the glyph.
So there are how many more glyphs a game is it?
It's similar, but they're based
more.
Off. No, it's not. No, because you don't get resets on every tier 1.
It's only one tier 1 now.
No, but but now it's when the tier 2 falls and the tier 3, right? Whereas in the past it was only when the tier 1 fell that you got a new glyph.
Yeah, so you don't get more glyphs, do you? You just get the glyphs later into the game, as opposed to getting. So the only
question I have is,
you get 2 more refreshes.
Do you get one when a tier 4 falls?
It doesn't
explicitly mention it in the patch.
It doesn't, but I feel like it happened in one of my games, but I couldn't verify it for sure. But it's a good question.
You don't get 2 more because previously you got a glyph. Then when your tier 1 died mid, you get another one.
Yeah.
Then when your tier 1 top dies, you get another one.
Oh, yeah, when your tier 1 bottom dies.
Oh, okay. So in the past it was all the tier 1s, but now it's just 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, 1 tier 3. But it's better for the defending team because it's spaced out better.
You're not going to lose 2 tier 3s or 2 tier 2s.
Yeah.
Like immediately how you used to. One poor fight doesn't mean you lose like 2 whole tier 2s.
Yeah.
Lose a ton of the map. I kind of like that's another tempo slow down.
It's harder to suddenly get a mega objective.
But I have it's tough. You got to rewire your brain because I've definitely lost us a glyph in a game when you're like, the tier 1's definitely going to die. I just might as well use it because we're going to get it back. And it's like, oh wait, we actually don't get it back. That is a huge blow it moment.
Yeah. You've got to actually engage your brain. It's not like, tier 1's dying, so you just don't even think about it. You just press it. Now it's like, tower's dying. Is it the first one? You've got to actually brain power too much. And
I think if with the patch written this way, I'm going to assume it's only with the tier 1, 2, and 3.
It'd be
if it refreshes after the first tier 4, that is, I don't like that.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think they would specify.
Because one glyph completely stops a wave, and if it's a tier 4, with the double split shot, and I don't know, I feel like that would add 5 minutes to a game if it refreshed after tier 4.
Also, just on the theme of towers, I really like the buffs to tier 4 armor. Oh wait, sorry, no, that's just the ancient. But I really like the buffs to the ancient armor up 13 to 23, which is significant effective HP.
Yeah. And
then doubling the HP regen from 90 to 180 for the ancient. Oh, sorry, that's backdoor protection, but still.
It's still good.
It's like, it feels good to have an ancient which is stronger and harder to defeat, and there's more kind of last-ditch defense chance, and it's harder to, just end That win condition's not as easy as it used to be. That's cool. I can get behind that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Less ratty, annoying stuff like none of this backdoors through like backdoor gyro whisk nonsense. Yeah,
I think there's going to be some pretty epic defenses.
Yes,
with how the patch is lining up at TI.
Yeah, God, can you imagine if Alliance was at TI? That'd be so rough. It'd be like even worse than last time.
TI3 would not have happened, and Alliance are doing it.
The Ancient's not going down. Yeah. The Western EU qualifiers are going to be high.
Yes.
Because I think Alliance are in that, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so Team Bold. Let's go.
Team Bold, Team Secret, Team Liquid.
It's crazy that Team
Goon
Secret
Squad.
are having to go through that.
Do I want Puppy? I don't care about Crystalis and Nisha.
You have to, because Nigma? Isn't Puppy the only one left that's been to all TIs after Ice's team neglected to sign up for quals, so he can't go for sure.
Wow, is it just Puppy now?
So when it is. It wasn't Ice before, was it? Didn't it just Puppy and Kuro? And then Kuro didn't go last time.
Well, maybe Ice fell off earlier, but there was a time when it maybe was like 3 people.
Mm.
And it was Ice.
I want Nigma, though, because of Miracle and Smail. I think I'm going to have to cheer Nigma. And Kuroki, I have to get behind Nigma to win EU qualifiers anyway.
Let's turn up.
What, was it you, Stanley, made that comment about Void? Just to jump ahead.
Void?
What he looks like.
Oh, the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, what's that name?
I feel
Captain
like everyone's been saying that. Yeah, Davy Jones.
Yeah. Dave, like, why is this fucking Void Davy Jones octopus? Also looks like Spectre a little bit because of the...
Is he not just an Eldritch Horror type of spaghetti monster?
Yeah. He is like... There's a lot of things that he looks like, to be fair. He does look like Spectre. He does look like...
Darkseer, Spectre...
He looks a bit like Alien.
I wouldn't pay for this.
You don't think so? So the effect on Chrono though is pretty cool. It's like tentacles coming out of Chrono. You know, it's pretty good. I tell you what would be. I tell you what would be really cool. It would be really cool if we could talk about all of the other stuff that just isn't in the game. Like
coming soon.
Like the Razor Arcana, the PA Persona, and the CM Persona.
Ooh, PA Persona, that sounds hype.
PA's got so much stuff already. Like,
here's the thing, right? People, okay, we might need to just like categorize all these complaints people have. But one of the ones I saw was that why are you doing Personas for PA and Crystal Maiden? They already have Arcanas. I can't believe you've done this. What about my Chin? And my response to that is, valid, but I like Crystal Maiden, so I'm happy.
and that's the reason why they do it, right? Because a lot of people like PA and CM. So not only do they make more money, more people are happy overall.
Yeah. I'm actually just stoked that it's a support hero. I was like, oh, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, let's go. Maybe they'll integrate it with they probably won't with the Arcana, but I was super excited to see that.
What's the CM Persona changing to? So with PA, it becomes some.
It's
elf
coming
man.
soon.
But what's CM? Just change to another female.
It's a spirit wolf looking.
The spirit wolf looks badass, but I mean, is CM going to be a wolf or something?
I don't know if it's taking the place of the dog in the Arcana. If it just takes the dog slot, that could be cool.
But really? That sounds lame.
You probably are playing as this spirit wolf, I would think.
That sounds cool.
Would be cool, yeah.
Yeah. But if it just took the bit of your little doggy walking around.
I'm looking at the picture. Spirit Wolf takes up 80% of the picture, and the Crystal Maiden is just off to the side. So
it's got to be a Persona where you change into the wolf, right? Because if it's an Arcana, it's got to still be CM. In the same way that if you do an Invoker Arcana, it's still got to be Invoker. But if you do an Invoker Persona, you just change the entire hero to just be a kid. So I think it's got to be the wolf, right? That's my estimation.
Yeah, that could be cool. It's level 148 though, so it's you think one of the lesser good personas, or do you not think that's the case?
It's all business, isn't it? It's that classic thing. If you put the best thing at 148, so people go 148, and then they're like, oh, it's only a little bit more to this one, and then
I am very excited about it because I think you can actually grind the 48 levels if you buy 100 pass. So
you definitely
all
can.
I care about is the Crystal Maiden set, and I do like the gender bend Phantom Assassin because I did that with AM, right? So
yeah, this PA
I assume
looks
this is
so much cooler.
I assume this is a guy, but I think it's pretty cool.
If that's his weapon, because that's one of my issues with the female anti-mage. There wasn't enough different. It was just a female in anti-mage kit. But this one,
right.
The kit looks different. The sword looks very different.
The sword with the dagger offhand.
Cool. Yeah,
that's pretty.
That
sick.
looks cool. Different kind of armor, no cape, things like this. So, I think they've learned from mistakes there.
The Razor Arcana. I was like, it looks.
That's not good.
It looks similar to the Faceless Void. Like, why did they made him purple? But it's Warcraft 3, right? That's what he looked like in Warcraft 3.
What, Faceless Void with all that armor?
No, Razor.
Oh, that's what Razor looked like. The armor, it does look like it.
I thought I saw a picture of a Razor sprite, and it was just like...
Was it identical?
I'm excited for the Primal Beast prestige item, because Primal Beast is an interesting one for giving kit.
What does prestige
items. It's like the lion finger of... The green finger of death. It's like a super immortal item.
It looks like he's wearing a Nyx Assassin mask.
Costume.
He looks a bit like Underlord.
He looks like Underlord, yeah.
Yeah.
Underlord and Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I mean, I guess it's the classic stuff, right? There's a bunch of Immortals. There's Cavern Crawl. There's Immortals 2. I think there'll be Immortal 3. I just think they'll do it in some weird bundle or something. There's your couriers and your wards. People seemed really upset about this one, but I think people are always really upset about it no matter what. So I don't know how much to read into that. Is there any really big omissions compared to previous years?
Well, so they were mad about terrain, but that's already come out.
Oh, they're mad about... There is terrain now, is there?
Yeah, well, they shipped it yesterday. So people are like, there's no terrain, and then all of a sudden there's a terrain. So I don't know.
I like a new terrain. I'm privy to a new terrain. People were complaining about there not being like a portal-like thing, where you might get stuff, the classic control Q to drop a portal, or like I can't remember what it was before it was a portal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the game thing.
Yeah.
There's
gimmicky.
Everyone likes CM's wheel, even though in reality it just gives you like the most worthless sets ever. There's a music pack, which is cool, I guess.
The caster pack is always a highlight of TI Battle Pass. I don't know if there are any good new ones, because it feels like it'll be impossible to top the classic caster lines. But the fact that they've come back in circulation is a big win. Yeah,
I haven't properly checked those out, but that actually is... To be fair, that is, especially looking forward to TI, that's almost the biggest thing, because you're going to be hearing that all TI.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest value add.
Oh, Dire Tide's coming back? That's sick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I gotta say, I was out of town. I was driving out of town when the patch dropped with the Battle Pass announcement. I was like, no, I'm going to miss it. Like, this is the worst. And then I saw all the fallout. I didn't even go through the Battle Pass. First thing I do when I get back to my apartment, sit down, break out the old wallet, buy a level 100. No cares given. Just like, I'm a good consumer. Here you go, Daddy Valve.
I'm looking at some of these now, actually. These are actually pretty good. I'm listening to some of them now.
Casters.
Yeah. Some of them are very
There's an elephant sound effect that is very cool. There's big fan of that one.
Yeah, those ones are fun. Some of the see, it's always interesting to see what the meta will be with like the Chinese ones and the Russian ones, and because there's also Spanish ones as well now. There's also like Peru Dota ones, or like SA ones, I guess. But the English ones are quite funny. There's like who is that? Is that Trent or something? I can't remember who it is, but it's like his brain is so big. I kind of want to use that one.
Yeah.
That's
it's
fun.
either Jenkins or Trent.
Yeah, that's Trent.
There's a Chinese one that's quite funny. Wow. God, these are actually pretty hype. All the way up at level 255 though, that's tough.
What is that? How to unlock?
That's when you unlock them, yeah.
I
think you just get one of them actually. You get one of each language.
Yeah, don't they put the classic voice lines behind level 1000 or something?
Crazy paywall, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, some of the classics are so good.
Oh yeah, they do. They got some level here. The Legacy Caster Pack.
That's it.
But even these, they don't have all of them. They don't have to be honest, what I really want is Latag Matatag behind like 2K or something. Then
is
you
it
know,
not
like,
there, Latag?
I don't think it's there. I don't think it's there. They've got wow, and they've got ding ding ding, motherfucker.
Yeah,
but I don't. Maybe they do. Okay, actually, I think there's multiple. It's looking spicy's back.
Yeah.
There's got to be Latag Matatag. If I go back far enough, I'm sure it will.
The clip of caster soundbites to end all caster soundbites where you have 3, if not 4, chat wheels in 20 seconds.
They've got they've got the Epic Legacy caster pack at 1131 where it's like loads of Korean stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was so good.
These are so good, these Korean ones. I've forgotten how dumb these are. Oh, here we go. Latag Matatag 1245. Nice.
You remember when
the next
aren't
level
all the Korean ones from EE?
I don't know what that's from, to be honest.
Fnatic when Eternal Envy.
Yeah, that's...
And they like backdoor or whatever.
Yeah,
that's not the Korean one. That's the like isn't the Tag Matatag? That's like Indonesian or something. It's Southeast Asia. It's Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and you can hear the Dark Rift in the background because there's Dark Rifting into backdoor. It's like,
yeah. What a clip! Because they literally have like all 5 of them in the space of like 6 minutes. All these or not 6 minutes, all 5 in the space of like 2 minutes. All these iconic ones like oi 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 oi, the next level play, the next level play. Yeah. OP.
Yeah. So it does feel like it's just like every other battle pass, or is everyone just whining because it's in 2 parts? It is kind of tough. I mean, back when you got Battle Pass and Compendium 1 and you've got Immortal items and wow, this is so new and exciting, different. But nowadays it's like, Immortal items just feel, who even cares?
I just can't bring myself to be upset. I'm just jaded. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
It's like it's just some pixels.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't... to me... I just see it as I don't have this strange mindset. We talk about this every year, but I don't have this strange mindset like I'm owed a good product. Do you know what I mean? I just have the more. I guess I'm just a brutal market capitalist where I'm like, if I don't want to buy it, I won't buy it, and if do you know what I mean? I don't understand this mindset of like we deserve to be catered for in some way. I tell you what I really like. I tell you what I think's really cool is the difference in price around the world. Don't know if you saw that, because people complain like, oh, SEA, we can't afford it. So they did that basically like in different parts of the world it cost different amounts. Don't know if you saw that.
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
So I should have used a VPN. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, surely abusable on VPN. But anyway, it's also good to see that they did that seasonal attack effect, which some in the past TIs have been absolutely infuriating. I hate that. You know, when it's like all ranged attacks become like confetti. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Marco? Like they become like multicolored spirals. But they've done that, but they put it at 1905, so you've got to be like a nutter to get it. But then all the pros will probably get it anyway.
That's annoying. That's an annoying one.
So all the right clicks look like Clink's right click in this one.
Yeah.
They look like a Lavery right click. It's also funny how they always put the blood vial, but the blood vial is always like the final thing. It's kind of
it's a funny one.
Yeah.
Oh, something. A genuine outcry, I think, is the production TI stuff, and how it's come to light that panel is going to be in Norway, and only live casters for the main event will be in Singapore.
Oh.
And there's some kind of talent isn't all going to be at the event. And everyone's like, how is there this 100 million revenue business where we're giving money for the battle pass and TI and production is in Norway?
Mm-hmm. Watch this space, I guess.
Bit of a weird one. I mean, maybe you get some absolute OP perfect Norway production, but it's like, how can you not do that at TI? Like, you're going to lose a lot of the magic, surely, if you don't have all the talent at TI. A big point someone made was, well, you're not going to get any players on said panels if the panel's in Norway. The players aren't there.
It's going to be videoed in, and that's just
videoed in. That's so just grim.
Do you remember last TI how like unbelievably bad? Yeah, I was going to say how unbelievably bad the panels were until like Seb and Lotel started going.
Yeah, we flamed the panels a lot last TI, and we watched a lot of TI. So I felt like we had justification for an opinion, but they were kind of bad for some reason.
Anyway, let's watch this space. We'll be back probably not next week because I'm on holiday and unable to do the pod in any capacity, but hopefully the week after.
You Brits and your holidays.
Yeah, man. Going to the Lake District, going to the lakes.
Ooh,
beautiful.
Nice.
Probably raining though. Probably left it a bit late. It's the kind of thing where like you can do a holiday in September if you don't go somewhere like the Lake District. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. So, until then, buy what you will and enjoy some Dota 2. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.